Okay, so welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at how does a $23 watch compare to an $80+ watch. And in order to do that, we're going to be taking a look at this blue Timex, which I did a review and unboxing of and a restrapping of very recently in one of my videos. And we're going to see how that compares to a $23 budget, probably the ubiquitous most budget watch that you can find on Amazon, Temu, AliExpress, any of those sites. This watch is almost everywhere, and it's literally the cheapest one that you can possibly find, the most inexpensive watch that you can find. And I just wanted to see how does it compare to something like this as far as features. And so today we're going to be opening this up and taking a look and seeing how it does. So we will start off by opening our package. Oops. There we go. Take off the plastic, and we can see here even the title, Liege, right? That's the company name, stands for Legend, Immortality, Gorgeous, Extraordinary. And that's a bit of a mouthful, but I like the idea of liege, my liege, from maybe medieval times, your patron, your ruler, the person that you express fealty towards. So I like the idea of that, and that's actually the first starting point when looking at budget watches. Is I like to look at the name, because oftentimes budget watches will have silly names. They'll have silly things that don't make sense, letters that put together that just don't make any sense, and I think that actually detracts from the watch. I would rather see a badge for a name on a watch that actually means something, or at least is recognizable. So that's why Liege wins out for me as far as just even as a brand name. So even when we're looking at our Timex watch, it's like you like to see the Timex. You like to see something that makes sense in that space for the badge. You don't want to have some, name that's just a bunch of letters put together because it's some, AliExpress, budget deal. I'd rather have like an actual brand name. And so I'm happy with Liege. I think that their branding is actually fairly nice. And so that's like starting point number one. Like when I'm browsing for watches, that's like the first thing that I look for is actually, does the name even make any sense? Because if it doesn't, I don't really want to be wearing names that don't make sense on my arm. It just kind of looks silly, that kind of thing, right? So that's the first thing that I kind of look for when I'm looking at budget watches. Uh, this is a very nice box with a faux kind of snakeskin kind of look to it, so that's actually a nice touch as well. And here we go. We've got a little card booklet here with some probably warranty information. There's a little cleaning cloth. And yes, your international guarantee. So that's your warranty. And it comes with a pin vise and packaged in its own plastic bag. So we will open that up. And I'm going to kind of show you what I think are the good features about this watch. So there we go. There is our dial face with our nice badge and a quartz. Let's see. Let's just check. Oh, it does actually have a rotating bezel too. So that's a nice feature that we didn't get on our Timex. So that's something interesting to think about, right? So I have here, this is my original Timex Submariner style that I use as an EDC watch, and the bezel here doesn't actually turn. It's just a solid, always stays the same. So it's not actually functional in that respect. So already this $23 watch has a feature on it that the much more expensive, this is actually about $100 watch, uh, doesn't have. So that's an interesting point of comparison. I don't know if this has any protective cover on it. The strap definitely does. So let's see if we can take that off. These things always drive me nuts. You guys know that. You've seen me struggle with these things in other videos because you can never tell where the end of the wrapping actually ends. And where, okay, there we go. I think, there we go. Yeah. Once you can get it started from one side, it's not so bad, but sometimes just finding the spot to get it started is the hardest part. Here we go. Okay, so now that we have that off, a couple of the other nice features of this watch, right? Before we, well, I'll take that up too. There we go. Can get it working. Hopefully we put that in. Yep, comes to life. So a couple other nice features about this watch. It has a steel case. That's a bonus. It has a steel bracelet. That is also something that the $80 watch did not come with. I had to put that bracelet on myself at my own expense, right? So if you're looking for something that right out of the box is going to already have a bracelet that comes with it that you can wear, I don't think that you can get a better deal than this on AliExpress or Amazon or Temu at the moment, right? Like this is your, it comes with all of the basic features, right? And for $23, I know that like some people might sneeze at this, they don't like budget items and stuff like that, but when I look at a watch like this, or when I look at basically any item that I find on in a store, and I'm trying to assess whether this budget item actually holds any value for me as a customer, I think back to the first watch that I ever owned, right? And the first watch I ever owned, I can't even remember what the company was. It's been so long, honestly. But I remember that I saved up my money and I paid about $100 back in the 1980s or early 1990s for a watch. And when I bought that watch, it had a brass case that was plated because that was the technology at the time. It's easier to machine brass than it is to machine steel, especially stainless steel, right? And so that was the cheaper way to do things, right? And so I wore that watch for a whole year, and the plating came off, and my arm went green because my skin was in contact with brass. And that always kind of like taught me, like, value wise, to look for the actual features that you're getting, right? What is the actual material that it's made of? How long is it going to last? What is it that you can expect to get out of it? Rather than just looking at the shiny thing and being like, oh, well, this is obviously better for X reason, or this is obviously better for Y reason, right? Because there are many vintage, expensive watches out there that are plated brass because that was the technology at the time, right? But this is a stainless steel case with a stainless steel band for $23. You get a quartz movement that actually has a date function, right? So you can set the day and you can remind yourself of what day of the week it is. It's a blue face, which already is a winner for me. Blue is my favorite color for watches. But it also has luminous pips on the dial face, right? For each of the hours, except for obviously the third place, because that, or three, because that's the spot for the date. It has nice hands that are also luminous, right? And so, as a feature package, to get all of that, right, in one. Oh, we've got a sticker we could take off the back. Okay, let's take that off. It's got a nice little laser engraved back as well, made in China. That's fine. There we go. As most things are these days, right? But as far as I'm concerned, if I could have purchased this watch, right, back when I bought my first watch, and if I could have gotten it for $23, I would have been over the moon. I would probably still be wearing this watch to this day because it would have had all the features and lasted, right? Because it's made constructed out of the proper materials to last. And so that, as far as I'm concerned, out of this little package for $23, there's only one issue that I see with it that I'm not like particularly happy about, but that's actually something that I might be able to change. If you look very closely at that front edge here, it's a bit of a sloppy glue up, right? When whoever was gluing the bezel, there was a little bit of overrun. So all I would do is just remove the excess glue and try to clean that up a little bit. You know, that obviously happened at the factory. That's like a quality control issue, you know, and not necessarily something that's going to get noticed on a $23 watch, but something that's probably fairly easy to get cleaned up and have it looking a little bit nicer. So that was really the only thing when I popped it out of the box my first impressions where I was looking at it where I was like, you know, I'm not too much of a fan of that. But changing out bezels, changing out the bezel ring, those are both things that are possible to do anyways. So if you wanted to completely replace it, you could. But actually, I think now that I've rubbed off the excess, I think we're fine. So there we go, guys. A $23 blue-faced quartz watch with a date, with luminous pips, with a rotating bezel, stainless steel strap, right? For 23 bucks. I don't think that you can get a better deal than that right now, especially not in this climate. You know what I mean? You can definitely find other stainless steel headed watches with leather straps or other bracelets, and even this one comes with they have like a blue snakeskin version and a green snakeskin version. But for me, for lasting, I just prefer stainless steel bracelet, and man, like that's a package. That's a deal. Like if I ever saw one, you know what I mean? So if you're looking for just a quick budget, something that you can throw on, you're not going to care about wrecking, right? Like I absolutely wouldn't care about having this on my wrist and getting it smashed up. I could wear this to work. I could wear this on the job. No problem, right? And you're not going to be like concerned, right? So there we go, guys. That is how a $23 Liege watch compares to my $80 Timex, which, as you can see, does not have luminous pips for the hours. It only has a luminous hour and minute hand. So I can still tell time in the dark, right? If those are charged and I can see them. But I have to kind of like estimate where the hour and minute hand are pointing. That's not too great, right? This is more of a dress watch, though. I would wear this to more of like a dressy occasion than I would probably wear this watch, just based on looks, right? But this is a nice watch for what it is, right? And nothing in life is perfect, but I would be very happy with this for the price. Especially that's a nice solid click. I'm going to try to get the bezel to line up perfectly with the top. Come on. Yeah, I think that's as close as I can get it. So there we go. That is my review, unboxing, and look at a very inexpensive but very good bang for your buck, value for money, uh, Liege watch. There we go. So hope you guys enjoyed that. If you like listening to me ramble and want to see more fun stuff like this as we continue on the channel, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, and join me again next time where we'll check out some more fun stuff like this. So we'll see you again. All right, guys. Bye-bye.